Have you ever felt like life was throwing one curveball after another, leaving you overwhelmed? If so, you're not alone. Life can be chaotic, and that's why gaining the ability to think critically during tough times is crucial. Imagine facing a big work decision, navigating a personal challenge, or tackling an unexpected problem with clarity and confidence. This ability isn't just a daydream, it can be developed with practice. Welcome to Stay Calm, Think Smart, where we delve into the art of critical thinking when the going gets tough. Picture yourself at the foot of a mountain. The peak symbolizes your goal of mastering calm, clear, and critical thinking. Sure, the climb might look intimidating, but each step you take will equip you with valuable tools and insights that change your perspective on life's hurdles. This book is your roadmap, blending mindfulness techniques with critical thinking strategies. By learning to integrate these two powerful approaches, you'll build a mental toolkit that helps you stay composed under pressure and make intelligent decisions, even when things get tricky. So why is combining calmness and critical thinking so effective? Think of your mind like a finely tuned instrument. When stress, anxiety, or emotional chaos take over, its performance can dwindle. By embracing calmness, you set the stage for clarity and effectiveness in your thinking. This is when you can really shine, making choices that can greatly impact your personal and professional life. Ready to take the first step on this journey? Let's dive deeper into how this powerful combination can help you navigate life's challenges with ease. Chapter 1. Clear Thinking. Picture standing on a beach with a thick fog wrapping around you, making it hard to see what's ahead. Now imagine that fog lifting and revealing a stunning view of all your options. That's what developing critical thinking skills can do for you. Throughout this book, you'll embark on a journey that may be challenging at times, but it will also be incredibly rewarding. In this opening chapter, let's explore what mastering calm critical thinking looks like, what you can gain from it, and how to get started. First things first, as you dive into this book, you'll start to build a solid understanding of how calm and critical thinking work together. You'll discover the key principles behind these ideas and learn how they can improve your ability to make decisions. Think of it like learning the rules of a game before you start playing. One of the initial skills you'll gain is recognizing when stress and emotions are creeping into your thoughts. This might mean taking a moment to breathe deeply before firing off a response to an angry email. Or, when you're faced with a tricky problem at work, it might involve taking a step back to consider all angles before jumping to a conclusion. For instance, imagine you're in a heated debate about project deadlines. Instead of snapping back, you learn to pause, breathe, and think through the various perspectives involved. As you begin to weave calmness into your decision-making process, remember, this doesn't mean you have to suppress your emotions. Instead, it's about carving out a bit of mental space where you can look at your thoughts and feelings with clarity. You'll start to see how your emotional state impacts your thinking and develop strategies to keep everything balanced, even when the pressure is on. The real magic happens over time. With consistent practice and a commitment to improve, you'll find that you're making decisions with greater confidence and clarity. Problems that once felt overwhelming will instead seem like manageable puzzles ready to be solved. Imagine confidently walking into a challenging meeting, equipped with the tools to navigate through conflicts and tough discussions. As you grow in this practice, you might notice changes not just in how you tackle workplace disputes or negotiate deals, but also in how you handle everyday stresses. As you master the art of calm, critical thinking, you'll likely find that both your personal and professional life experience a significant boost. Better decisions lead to better outcomes, and that opens the door to new opportunities for growth in your career and overall well-being. Chapter 2. Critical Thinking. Let's talk about personal growth and how it can reshape your relationships and overall happiness in life. Imagine the ripple effect it can create, opening doors to new opportunities and possibilities you may not have even thought were possible. So what's the magic behind this transformation, and what steps should you take? At the heart of this journey, you'll discover two essential components: mastering critical thinking principles and learning mindfulness techniques that help you stay calm. Critical thinking isn't just about being logical. It's a broad approach to examining information, challenging assumptions, and making informed choices. For example, when making a big decision, like whether to accept a job offer, a critical thinker would weigh the pros and cons, ask questions about the company culture, or consider how the new role aligns with personal values. You'll learn to spot cognitive biases, those sneaky patterns in thinking that cloud your judgment. Techniques like the 5 whys, where you ask why repeatedly to drill down to the root cause of an issue, or decision matrices that help you compare complex options, can be incredibly helpful. On the other hand, cultivating calmness through mindfulness techniques doesn't mean you need to sit cross-legged and chant for hours. Instead, it's about practical skills for managing your mental and emotional state in everyday situations. Picture a scenario where you're feeling overwhelmed at work. Breathing exercises or a quick body scan can ground you and center your focus when stress kicks in. The steps you'll be learning build upon one another, creating a powerful synergy that boosts your overall skills. By starting with calmness, you lay a solid foundation that allows for more effective critical thinking. As your ability to think critically improves, you'll find it easier to stay composed during tough times, creating a positive spiral of personal growth. This connection between calmness and critical thinking is what makes this approach stand out from other self-help methods. It's not simply about thinking more rationally or feeling more relaxed. It's about weaving these abilities together to become a more resilient and confident person. With a strong foundation in these areas, you'll feel better prepared to tackle any challenge life throws your way, whether that's negotiating a high-stakes deal, handling a personal crisis, or just trying to navigate an increasingly complicated world. As we wrap up this introductory chapter, take a moment to ponder the exciting journey ahead. The road to mastering calmness and critical thinking might be filled with twists and turns, but every step you take enhances your ability to thrive. Chapter 3. Calm Thinking. Picture this. You find yourself in the eye of a storm, surrounded by chaos, yet you feel a sense of perfect peace. This vivid scenario captures the essence of what we're diving into in this chapter, the calm mindset. It's a state of mind that empowers you to navigate life's rocky waters with grace and clarity, even when the waves of stress and pressure threaten to pull you under. So, what is this calm mindset, and why is it so vital for critical thinking in tough situations? As we explore this idea, you'll see that it's much more than just lounging on a beach feeling relaxed. Rather, it's a powerful tool that can reshape how you tackle challenges and make decisions. At its foundation, the calm mindset is all about emotional stability. It's about keeping your composure and maintaining the ability to think clearly, even when life throws you into high-pressure scenarios. Here's the kicker. This mindset isn't something that just magically appears. It's a skill you can cultivate and sharpen over time. Think about how you usually react when stress hits. Maybe your heart races, or your mind buzzes with a flurry of anxious thoughts. These are totally normal reactions, yet they can muddy your ability to think critically and make good choices. This is where embracing calmness truly shines. When you can hold on to that inner peace, even when chaos swirls around you, you set yourself up for clearer thinking and better decision-making. For example, consider a time when you faced a challenging situation, perhaps a work deadline that seemed impossible. Instead of succumbing to panic, what if you took a moment to breathe, cleared your mind, and tackled the task step by step? This approach not only helps you manage stress, but also enhances your problem-solving abilities. So as we journey through this chapter, reflect on your responses to stress. Challenge yourself to nurture that calm mindset and watch as it transforms your approach to life's challenges. The first step is recognizing where you are now, and the exciting part? The path to becoming a master of calm, critical thinking is right before you, full of opportunities for growth and discovery. Are you ready to take the next leap forward? Creating the right environment for clear thinking is like tuning out the distracting chatter in your mind. It helps you focus on what truly matters. But the advantages of a calm mindset go beyond just feeling more relaxed. When you're emotionally stable, you become better at analyzing situations objectively, considering different viewpoints, and making logical choices instead of reacting impulsively. This emotional steadiness is the foundation for effective critical thinking. So how do we nurture this elusive calmness? The first step is recognizing that being calm doesn't mean you ignore your emotions or pretend stressful situations don't impact you. It's about learning to observe your feelings and thoughts without letting them overpower you. One highly effective method for achieving this is through mindfulness. Mindfulness is all about being fully present in the moment, paying attention to your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Think of it like building a muscle. The more you practice, the stronger you become. As you incorporate mindfulness into your daily routine, you'll likely notice changes in how you handle stress. Instead of reacting right away to a tough situation, you might find yourself pausing, taking a deep breath, and addressing the issue with a more composed mindset. While mindfulness is a key component, it's not the only tool in your toolbox. To cultivate emotional stability, you can also engage in mental exercises that help you remain calm under pressure. These exercises can take many forms, from visualizing successful outcomes to using cognitive reframing techniques. For example, one helpful exercise involves mentally preparing for challenging situations. Picture yourself staying calm and collected when things get tough. It's like giving your brain a practice run so that when real challenges hit, you can respond effectively. Another valuable technique is practicing self-compassion. Often, the harsh criticisms we direct toward ourselves can create a lot of stress and emotional upheaval. By treating ourselves with kindness and empathy, we can lay a stronger emotional foundation for tackling life's obstacles. As you move along this journey toward a calmer mindset, you'll likely find yourself facing situations that really test the skills you're developing. This is where everything you've learned will be put to the test, showing just how far you've come. Chapter 5. Finding your balance in chaos. Staying calm when life gets tough is super important for keeping your emotions in check. One great way to stay focused and clear-headed during stressful moments is by using grounding techniques. Think of these as little exercises you can do to keep yourself anchored in the present, helping you avoid getting lost in worries and panic. One classic grounding method is called the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. Here's how it works. First, look around you and name 5 things you can see. Next, think of 4 things you can touch. Then, identify 3 sounds you can hear. After that, find 2 scents in the air, and finally think of 1 thing you can taste. Engaging your senses this way can help you feel more present and calm, clearing your mind to think more clearly about what's going on. Another helpful strategy is to pay attention to your breath. Taking slow, deep breaths and feeling the air move in and out of your body can help create a sense of calm. The best part, you can do this discreetly in nearly any situation. Just a few moments of deep breathing can work wonders to settle your mind. Now, like any skill, staying calm takes practice. That's why making time for practical exercises in your everyday life is key. One of the most effective ways to do this is through daily mindfulness meditation. Don't worry, it doesn't need to be a whole production. Even dedicating just 5 minutes a day to focus solely on your breath can lead to significant changes over time. Find a quiet corner where you won't be disturbed, get comfortable, and concentrate on your breathing. If your mind starts to wander, and trust me, it will, gently guide your attention back to your breath without beating yourself up about it. Over time, this practice can help you gain more control over your thoughts and emotions. In addition to meditation, you can also weave breathing exercises into your daily routine for immediate relief when stress hits hard. One effective technique is called the 478 breath. Inhale quietly through your nose for a count of 4, hold that breath for a count of 7, and then exhale completely through your mouth for a count of 8. Do this cycle 4 times in total. This practice can help trigger your body's relaxation response, calming your mind and lowering your stress levels. As you start embracing these exercises, you might be curious about what benefits you can expect to see. While everyone's path is different, many people report feeling a greater sense of calm and control over time as they incorporate these practices into their lives. Remember, it's all about the journey. Chapter 1. Embracing a serene mindset. Imagine waking up each day feeling a little lighter, like the weight of the world has been lifted off your shoulders. When you cultivate a calm mindset, you may notice that those everyday stressors that used to throw you into a whirlwind of anxiety start to feel a whole lot less daunting. This transformation can lead to a remarkable boost in your overall happiness and well-being. As you work on honing this serene outlook, you might find that your focus improves. Think about it. When you're not clouded by anxiety, you can see things more clearly. This mental clarity can significantly enhance your decision-making skills. Instead of reacting on impulse, you'll be able to analyze situations logically, much like a chess player strategizing their next move. Now, for those who are truly committed to nurturing this peaceful perspective, the ultimate goal is mastering your emotional responses. This doesn't mean you'll banish stress or anxiety entirely. These feelings are a natural part of being human. What you're striving for is the ability to navigate your emotional landscape without losing your footing, even when life gets tough. However, take heed. The path to achieving a calm mindset isn't always a walk in the park. You might run into some bumps along the way. One common hurdle is keeping up with mindfulness practices. Life can get hectic, and it's all too easy to let yoga or meditation slip from your routine. If you find it hard to stick to a consistency in your practice, consider carving out a specific time in your day just for this purpose. You don't have to dive into an hour of meditation right away. Even 5 minutes can be transformative. Once you begin to notice the positive shifts in your mindset, you'll likely find yourself eager to dedicate more time to these calming exercises. Another challenge may arise when emotional triggers come knocking on your door. Even as you build a more stable emotional foundation, certain situations or individuals might still press your buttons. When you feel that familiar irritation bubbling up, remember some grounding techniques we've discussed. Pause, take a few deep breaths, and try to reconnect with your surroundings. Focusing on the sensations in your environment can help you regain your balance and face the moment with a clearer head. As we wrap up this chapter on nurturing a calm mindset, take a moment to appreciate the progress you've made simply by engaging with these ideas. Reflect on how incorporating these concepts can shape your life for the better. Recognize that developing a calm mindset is not a one-time event. It's a journey that you'll continue to navigate and refine throughout your life. Each time you confront a challenge, you're not just reacting, you're building a stronger, more resilient you. Chapter 3: Navigating the Maze of Critical Thinking. As we step into the world of critical thinking, picture yourself as an adventurer exploring a vast, uncharted landscape. This terrain is filled with ideas, facts, and arguments, some straightforward, some tangled, and many that lie somewhere in between. Your mission, if you choose to embark on it, is to skillfully navigate through this intricate maze. So, what exactly is critical thinking? At its heart, it's a way of engaging with the world that embraces curiosity and skepticism while firmly committing to finding the truth. Imagine peeling back the layers of an onion, where each layer represents an assumption or bias we hold. It's about questioning what we think we know and striving to understand things as they really are. Today, this skill is more crucial than ever. We are constantly bombarded with information from a multitude of sources: news articles, social media, advertisements, each trying to grab our attention and often our agreement. Without the proper tools of critical thinking, it's all too easy to get swept up by persuasive language, questionable statistics, or simply our own preconceived beliefs. Think about a time when you felt overwhelmed by conflicting opinions during a heated debate. Maybe it was a family discussion about politics, or a conversation about health trends on social media. In moments like these, when the stakes feel high, our ability to analyze situations objectively can really make a difference. Critical thinking helps us cut through the noise, focusing on what's genuinely important and grounding our decisions in logical reasoning rather than being swept away by emotion or impulse. Yet, the advantages of honing our critical thinking go far beyond better decision-making. As we develop this skill, we also become more adept at spotting and confronting biases, both within ourselves and in others. This newfound awareness acts like a superpower, allowing us to navigate through social and intellectual waters with greater clarity and ease. So how do we go about nurturing this vital skill? The first step is to approach every piece of information with curiosity. Ask questions, challenge assumptions, get into the habit of not just accepting things at face value. In your daily life, practice evaluating the sources of information. Is that statistic from a reputable study? Is a claim backed by facts? Just like a seasoned explorer wouldn't blindly follow a map, we too must critically assess the information that guides our understanding of the world. As you close this chapter, take a moment to reflect on the journey ahead. With each breath, embrace the excitement of possibility. The road to mastering your mind is unfolding before you, full of insights and transformations yet to come. Chapter 1: The Start of Your Critical Thinking Adventure. The journey towards honing your critical thinking skills begins with grasping its fundamental ideas. At its core, critical thinking is all about asking questions. It revolves around challenging our assumptions, recognizing our biases, and scrutinizing the information that comes our way. Think about a belief you hold dear. Perhaps it's your stance on a political issue, your views on society, or even a personal value. Now take a moment to dig deeper. Why do I believe this? What evidence backs up this belief? Have I thought about alternative viewpoints that I might not have considered before? This kind of self-inquiry is the essence of critical thinking. But don't stop there. It's also vital to approach new pieces of information with a healthy pinch of skepticism. When you come across a claim, instead of just accepting it or tossing it aside, challenge it. Ask yourself, what evidence is there to support this claim? Who is putting this argument forward, and what could their motives be? Are there other viewpoints worth considering? Another key element in critical thinking is the ability to tell the difference between facts and opinions. In our world flooded with information, these two can easily get mixed up. A fact can be verified objectively, like, for instance, the Earth orbits the Sun. That's something you can check with scientific evidence. In contrast, the idea that summer is the best season is simply an opinion, no matter how passionately someone defends it. Learning to quickly separate facts from opinions equips you to navigate complex discussions and make more informed choices. As we venture further into the realm of critical thinking, we arrive at the exhilarating world of logical reasoning and analysis. This can be both thrilling and challenging. Logical reasoning involves crafting and evaluating arguments and spotting logical fallacies while drawing sound conclusions based on the evidence at hand. One vital skill in any critical thinker's toolkit is the ability to understand varying types of arguments. For example, deductive arguments work to establish their conclusions with absolute certainty, while inductive arguments offer support for conclusions that are probable. Knowing how to analyze the structure of these arguments allows you to gauge their strength and validity. Another essential skill: identifying logical fallacies, mistakes in reasoning that can undermine an argument. By sharpening your skills in these areas, you'll be better prepared to tackle any discussion and become a more effective critical thinker. Chapter 1: Thinking Critically, Avoiding Traps in Reasoning. When we engage in discussions, it's easy to slip into errors that can make our arguments seem much stronger than they really are. Take, for example, the ad hominem attack, where instead of addressing the argument, we choose to attack the person presenting it. Imagine you're in a debate about climate change, and instead of discussing the data, someone says, "Well, you're not even a scientist." This tactic dismisses the argument without engaging with its content. Another common misstep is falling for false dichotomies. This happens when a situation is presented as if there are only two choices, when in fact there are many. For instance, a person might say, "You're either for stricter gun control or you don't care about safety." This kind of reasoning ignores a wide range of perspectives that could exist in between these two extremes. Then there's the appeal to authority, where we accept an idea simply because a respected figure supports it. For instance, just because a celebrity endorses a certain diet doesn't necessarily mean it's effective or healthy. To protect ourselves from these pitfalls, we need to practice our critical thinking skills. One great way to do this is by analyzing news articles, especially those on controversial topics. Pick an article that catches your attention and read it closely. Ask yourself, what are the facts presented? What opinions are being shared? Can you spot any logical fallacies in the arguments? What key information might be missing? Engaging in this practice will sharpen your ability to differentiate between facts and opinions and help you identify possible biases in the content. Additionally, you can sharpen your critical thinking through fun logical puzzles and games. Consider Sudoku, chess, or even logic grid puzzles. These activities require you to think systematically, contemplate various options, and draw logical conclusions, essentially the building blocks of critical thinking. As you embark on this journey to strengthen your critical thinking skills, you might wonder what you could achieve. At the beginning, you'll likely notice enhanced analytical skills. You'll become more adept at breaking down complex problems, evaluating evidence, and drawing logical conclusions. With ongoing practice, you'll find yourself better equipped to recognize biases, not only in what you read, but also within your own thinking. This realization can be quite enlightening as you start to see patterns in arguments that you may have missed before. For those who commit to this journey, the ultimate goal is to achieve mastery in logical reasoning. Keep in mind that this doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes. After all, we are only human. However, it does mean you'll have a set of powerful tools to help navigate tricky intellectual waters and make sound decisions. That said, the road to developing strong critical thinking skills can be rocky at times. You may face hurdles, one common challenge being the difficulty in recognizing biases, particularly your own. We all have blind spots, and it can be uncomfortable to confront our biases and preconceptions. But remember, acknowledging these stumbling blocks is a step toward growth. Chapter 4: The Impact of Emotions on Our Thinking. Have you ever been in a situation where your heart starts racing, your palms feel sweaty, and your mind becomes a bit foggy? Perhaps in that moment, it felt like logic took a back seat, giving way to an overwhelming rush of feelings. If this sounds familiar, then you've experienced what we'll discuss in this chapter: emotional triggers. These emotional triggers are powerful forces in our lives. They can influence our choices, drive our actions, and even shape how we view the world around us without us even noticing. Imagine them as invisible strings that pull us in directions we might not consciously want to go. But what would happen if we could actually see these strings? What if we could learn to identify them, understand their effects, and even gain some control over how they sway our decisions and thoughts? This is where the skill of emotional awareness comes in. Think of emotional awareness as a flashlight in a dark room, illuminating the hidden corners of your mind where feelings reside. When you shine that light on your emotions, you start to recognize them for what they are. For example, have you ever felt a rush of anger during a disagreement, only to later realize that it stemmed from a fear of being misunderstood? By acknowledging that fear, you gain insight into what really triggered your response. Improving your emotional awareness can transform how you react in everyday situations. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can pause and reflect, asking yourself questions like, what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? This kind of mindfulness allows you to respond rather than react, leading to more thoughtful and deliberate choices. As we wrap up this chapter, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. What emotional triggers have caught you off guard? How have they influenced your actions or decisions? By exploring these questions, you can begin to uncover the hidden influences at play in your life, and you might just discover insights that surprise you. In our next chapter, we'll continue on this journey, looking even deeper into the interplay between emotions and our critical thinking skills. Chapter 1: Clearing the Path, Mastering Emotional Awareness. When we find ourselves in tricky situations, sharpening our critical thinking skills is essential, especially when emotions start running high. But why is this so important, particularly when tough decisions are on the table? Picture this. You're faced with a crucial choice where the stakes are high, the pressure is mounting, and the consequences of your decision could be significant. In moments like these, our emotions can act like a thick fog, hiding the facts and clouding our judgment. Instead of weighing our options carefully, we might rush into decisions driven by fear, anger, or even excitement. This is where emotional awareness becomes our best friend. By recognizing when our emotions are steering the ship, we can hit pause, take a deep breath, and create room for more rational thought. Imagine it as an internal alarm system that warns us when our feelings are about to take control. However, emotional awareness isn't solely about dodging poor decisions. It's also about clearing the way for sharper thinking. When we learn to manage our emotions well, it's like wiping the fog off a car windshield. Suddenly, the road ahead becomes much clearer, making it easier to navigate even the trickiest situations. So, how do we cultivate this vital skill? The first step is to pinpoint the emotional influences that shape our thoughts and choices. These influences can often be subtle, working just below the surface of our awareness. Think of them like hidden currents that quietly shape the landscape of our minds. Among these influences, one of the most potent is what we call emotional triggers. These triggers can be situations, specific words, or even memories that spark an intense emotional reaction. They're like those hot buttons that, when pressed, send us spiraling into a whirlwind of feelings. Common emotional triggers in decision-making may include being criticized or judged, the fear of failing or even succeeding, feeling overwhelmed or out of control, or perceiving threats to our status or relationships. It's important to remember that everyone's triggers are unique, crafted by their own life experiences and personalities. The real key to managing these triggers lies in recognizing them. This requires a level of self-awareness that many of us might not be used to cultivating. It means paying close attention to our emotional responses, noticing patterns that reveal what sets us off, and honestly acknowledging our vulnerabilities. A great way to build this awareness is through mindfulness practices, which can help us become more in tune with our thoughts and feelings, enabling us to respond more thoughtfully in high-pressure situations. Chapter 3: Tuning in to our feelings. When we start practicing mindfulness, we essentially adopt a habit of observing our thoughts and emotions without jumping to conclusions or judging ourselves. Imagine becoming a detective in your own mind, curiously examining your feelings as they pop up. This observation helps us notice how we're reacting to different situations in our lives. As we get better at spotting our emotional responses, the next step is figuring out how to handle them effectively. This doesn't mean pushing our emotions away or pretending they aren't there. Instead, it's about learning to feel our emotions without letting them take over. One effective method for managing emotions is what we can call emotional distancing. Think of it as giving yourself a bit of mental breathing room. Instead of saying, "I am angry," try saying, "I notice that I'm feeling anger." This small shift in wording can transform your emotions into temporary experiences that don't stick to you like labels. Another helpful strategy is reframing. This is when you look at a situation from different angles to lessen its emotional weight. For instance, if you're feeling anxious about a big presentation at work, you could reframe it by thinking of it as a chance to showcase your skills and grow, rather than a nerve-wracking threat. These techniques allow us to keep our emotions in check, helping us think more clearly and make better decisions. It's like stepping back to get a bird's-eye view of a situation, giving you a better understanding of all its pieces rather than being lost in just one small part. Like learning any new skill, managing our emotional triggers takes practice. One effective exercise is journaling about how you feel in different situations. By writing down what upset you, how you felt, and how you reacted, you'll start to see patterns in your emotional responses over time. This practice leads to greater self-awareness and better control over our emotions. Another valuable activity is role-playing situations that usually stir up strong feelings. By simulating these challenges in a safe space, you give yourself the chance to practice spotting and managing your reactions. It's like a fire drill for your emotions, preparing you for the real-life challenges that are just around the corner. As you dive deeper into this journey of emotional awareness, you may be curious about what benefits you can look forward to. On a basic level, you can expect to gain a heightened awareness of your emotions, making it easier to navigate life's ups and downs. Chapter 5: Mastering Your Emotions, a Journey to Balance. As you continue your journey of emotional awareness, you'll start to tune in better to your feelings, and you may even catch yourself reacting to your emotions with greater skill. With consistent practice, you could find that emotional regulation becomes easier. This means you'll be able to keep your cool and think clearly, even when things get tough. Picture yourself encountering an unexpected challenge, perhaps an eruption of conflict in a meeting or an unexpected twist in your day. With these new skills, you're more likely to stay steady instead of getting thrown off course. For those truly committed to this path, there's a remarkable prize waiting at the end: the ability to make decisions without being overwhelmed by emotion. But let's clear something up. This isn't about becoming cold or unfeeling. It's about genuinely experiencing your emotions, yet still thinking and acting rationally. Think of it as the perfect blend of emotional depth and sound judgment, like a skilled chef balancing spices in a dish just right. Now let's be real. The road to mastering your emotions isn't a straight line. Expect some bumps along the way. You might find it tricky to spot what triggers your emotions. Sometimes, feelings can hit us so quickly that we don't even realize it's happening until we're knee-deep in a reaction. If you find that identifying these triggers is challenging, consider keeping an emotional log. Write down what you're feeling along with the situations that led you there, any physical sensations you noted, and how you responded. Over time, this journal could reveal patterns, making it easier to see what sets off your feelings. Another hurdle you might encounter is regulating those emotions once they've surfaced. Even if you're aware of your feelings, shifting gears can be tough. So, should you find yourself battling overwhelming emotions, remember the basics. Mindfulness can be your best friend. Techniques like taking a few deep breaths or focusing on what you can physically sense around you can help bring you back to a balanced state. Remember, developing skills for emotional awareness and management isn't about reaching a final destination. It's an ongoing journey. Every time you catch a trigger in action, or when you pause to consider your response instead of reacting impulsively, you're fortifying your emotional resilience. Now that we've wrapped up our look into emotional triggers, take a moment to appreciate the incredible power you hold in understanding and managing your emotions. Chapter 5: The Art of Situation Analysis. Picture yourself in front of a sprawling, intricate tapestry. At first, it looks like a confusing mess with colors and patterns that seem to dance chaotically. But as you take a step closer and examine it piece by piece, a stunning image starts to reveal itself. The chaotic threads come together, and what once felt incomprehensible suddenly makes sense. This process is similar to what we'll delve into in this chapter: the art of situation analysis. Why is this skill crucial, especially when life throws complicated challenges our way? Think back to a time when you faced a real conundrum, perhaps a tough project at work that seemed insurmountable, or a personal issue that left you scratching your head for a solution. In these moments, it's all too easy to become overwhelmed, viewing the situation as one giant knot that feels impossible to untangle. This is where situation analysis becomes your secret weapon. By breaking down complex circumstances into smaller, manageable parts, you gain a clearer understanding of what's really going on. It's like not just seeing the vast forest, but also noticing each individual tree and how they all connect to form that grand vista. But it's not just about clarity. This skill empowers you. When you can identify each element within a situation, you're in a better position to make informed decisions. You can weigh your options, foresee possible outcomes, and approach challenges with a level of confidence that makes navigating difficulty feel less intimidating. So, how do we sharpen this invaluable skill of situation analysis? Let's explore practical steps and strategies to transform chaos into clarity, making you a more resilient decision-maker in both personal and professional realms. The journey to understanding the layers of complexity around us is just beginning. In our journey toward mastering effective problem-solving, the first skill we need to hone is gathering information. This isn't just about compiling random facts. It's more about identifying what's truly relevant, knowing where to look, and organizing that information so it sheds light on the situation rather than creating confusion. One fantastic tool for gathering information is the 5 W's and 1 H method: who, what, when, where, why, and how. By walking through each of these questions, we can develop a full picture of the scenario we're dealing with involved. Think about a community crisis. Is it the local government making decisions, the residents affected, or perhaps activist groups trying to intervene. What exactly is happening? Is there a conflict, a natural disaster, or a new policy being introduced? When did it all start? Tracing the timeline helps us understand the urgency and triggers of the situation. Where is this occurring? Context matters. Is it a neighborhood, city, or a country facing these issues? Why is this happening? Digging into the root causes can reveal underlying issues that may not be immediately visible. How is the situation evolving? Observing the processes at play allows for a better grasp of the dynamics involved. However, simply gathering information isn't the end of the road. The real challenge lies in evaluating what we've collected and understanding the context behind it. This means we need to be skeptics of our sources, asking ourselves questions like, is this information reliable? Does this viewpoint carry bias? Are there gaps in my understanding that I need to fill in? Context is key here. No issue exists in a vacuum. Various broader factors, such as economic conditions, social movements, historical moments, and cultural expectations, influence what we analyze. By incorporating these factors into our understanding, we can peel back layers and get a clearer, more nuanced view of the problem. As we dive deeper into analyzing situations, we'll also face the necessity of logical approaches to problem breakdown. This is where we can truly harness the power of systematic thinking. By applying structured strategies to our analysis, we can confront even the most tangled issues with clarity. One effective method is called divide and conquer. It's just like it sounds. Split a complex problem into smaller, more manageable chunks. Each subset can be examined individually before piecing it all back together to get a complete understanding of the bigger picture. Another useful tool is the problem tree. With this method, you identify the main problem first, then branch out to uncover its causes and effects. This creates a visual representation, almost like a map of the problem landscape, allowing us to see connections and paths we might have missed in a more linear approach. This way, we can navigate through the complexity and draw more informed conclusions about the situation we're facing. You might wonder how we can really put our newfound knowledge into practice. A great way to start is by analyzing hypothetical situations. Picture this. You're given a complex, fictional problem to solve. This kind of exercise helps sharpen your analytical skills without the stress that comes from real-life consequences. It's like a safe playground where you can try out different solutions and learn from any missteps, all while building your confidence. Another handy practice is using mind maps for difficult topics. Imagine taking a large piece of paper and putting the main problem right in the center. From there, you draw branches that represent related topics, subtopics, and connections. This visual representation helps you see patterns and relationships that might not be obvious if you only think about the issue in a straight line. It's like laying out a treasure map that can lead you to deeper insights. As you dive into developing your situation analysis skills, you may wonder what improvements you might see. At first, you'll likely notice that your understanding of problems increases. You'll become more skilled at seeing the multiple angles of a situation and how they all fit together. Over time, with consistent practice, your analytical skills will grow stronger. You'll face complex situations with newfound confidence, equipped with tools to break them down and understand them thoroughly. You might find that your ability to spot connections and patterns surpasses that of others, giving you an edge in both your personal life and work environment. For those who really commit to honing these skills, the end goal is to master comprehensive situation analysis. Now, this doesn't mean you'll have all the answers. Life is far too intricate for that. But it does mean you'll be armed with a powerful toolkit that helps you tackle any challenge that comes your way. Of course, the road to developing strong situation analysis skills can have its bumps. You may run into a few challenges on your journey, so it's wise to be prepared. One common hiccup is the tendency to overlook important information. In the rush to make sense of a situation, you might miss crucial details. If this happens to you, consider using checklists or structured frameworks to keep your analysis organized and thorough. The 5 whys and 1 how method we mentioned earlier can serve as an excellent starting point. Another challenge you might encounter is feeling overwhelmed by the complexity of certain scenarios. When faced with a particularly knotty issue, don't hesitate to break it down into smaller parts. Each piece can be analyzed individually, making the whole situation less daunting. Remember, it's all a process, and every step you take brings you closer to mastering the art of situation analysis. Chapter 6, Mastering Problem Solving. Picture yourself at the base of a towering mountain, with your goal shining like a beacon at the peak. The path ahead is anything but clear. Obstacles are strewn across the ground, and the landscape feels brand new. How do you begin your climb? This scenario reflects the challenges we often encounter in life. Our goals may be crystal clear, yet the route to achieving them can be convoluted and tricky. Welcome to the world of problem solving, a dynamic space where obstacles can morph into opportunities and challenges become stepping stones toward success. So, what sets great problem solvers apart? Is it an inborn skill, or can it be learned and sharpened over time? As we dive deeper into this topic, you'll find out that problem solving is not just a talent. It's a valuable skill that we can all develop. It blends creativity with logic, pairing an organized strategy to tackle even the most complicated challenges. Let me share a quick story. Think about a famous entrepreneur who faced numerous setbacks launching their business. Instead of being defeated by challenges, they used each roadblock as a chance to learn something new. They asked questions, brainstormed ideas, and even sought advice from others. With each step, they became more resourceful and eventually carved out their own path to success. This example illustrates how problem solving can dramatically change our approach to difficulties. Rather than seeing problems as dead ends, we learn to see them as puzzles waiting to be solved. The truth is, effective problem solvers use a unique blend of strategies, analyzing situations, brainstorming potential solutions, and weighing the pros and cons of each option before making decisions. As we wrap up this chapter, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. When challenges arise, how do you respond? Do you feel overwhelmed, or have you developed a toolbox to navigate these situations? Remember, each time you tackle a complex problem, you're not just finding a solution. You're also honing a skill that will serve you in many areas of life, from personal dilemmas to workplace challenges. Chapter 7, Control Situations. In our next chapter, we'll delve into how to actively shape situations, not just understand them, but actually influence them to meet our goals. So, as we prepare to turn the page, think about the hidden connections in your daily challenges that might offer fresh insights or solutions. The skills you've gained so far are just the beginning. The real adventure lies in applying them to the intricate fabric of your own life. Have you ever found yourself facing a tough challenge that just seemed daunting? Maybe you were stuck on a project that felt insurmountable, or you found yourself in a disagreement that felt like it would never end. Perhaps you were making a decision and couldn't quite figure out the right choice. In these tricky situations, having strong problem-solving skills can be the crucial factor that separates success from failure, or progress from feeling stuck. Think about it. Problem-solving is like having a trusty Swiss Army knife in your brain. It equips you with different tools to handle various obstacles that might pop up along your path. When the way forward is foggy, effective problem-solving allows you to break down complicated issues into smaller, more manageable pieces. This way, you can tackle each part systematically and work your way toward a solution. Moreover, sharpening your problem-solving abilities fosters both innovative and logical thinking. It encourages you to step outside of the conventional boundaries and consider solutions that might be hiding in plain sight. But there's a balance to strike. Creativity must be grounded in logic to make sure that your fresh ideas are not only novel but also practical. This synergy of creativity and rational thinking can yield solutions that are both original and feasible. So, how can we cultivate these essential skills? The journey begins with grasping structured problem-solving techniques. These are step-by-step strategies that help guide you through identifying challenges, brainstorming solutions, and putting effective plans into action. One effective technique is known as the 5 whys. This method pushes you to keep asking why until you uncover the root cause of a problem. For example, if you find yourself repeatedly late to work, you might start by asking, "Why am I late?" The answer might be, "Because I oversleep." You then ask, "Why do I oversleep?" And continue this process until you reach the core issue you can address directly. Another powerful method is the ideal problem-solving model. This involves 5 steps. Identify the problem, define the context, explore possible strategies, act on the best solution, and look back and learn from the experience. This structured approach ensures that you consider all facets of the issue at hand and benefit from the learning process, enhancing your problem-solving skills over time. However, simply identifying problems is only part of the journey. The real test often lies in generating effective solutions, which is where brainstorming comes into play. Brainstorming opens the door to exploring a variety of ideas and possibilities. It creates a space where you can discuss and riff off one another's thoughts, leading to discoveries and insights that you might not have reached on your own. So next time you encounter a challenge, remember, with the right tools and techniques, you've got what it takes to navigate through. Chapter 8. Playful Brainstorming. Playful brainstorming is all about letting your imagination run wild. Think of it as a playground for your mind, where you can toss around ideas without worrying if they're practical or not. The key here is to create a space that sparks creativity. Imagine being in a room where everyone's encouraged to share even the wildest thoughts without fear of criticism. When you focus on churning out as many ideas as possible, no matter how out there they seem, you might stumble across that one gem that leads to a breakthrough solution. Once you've gathered a bunch of potential solutions, it's time to roll up your sleeves and evaluate them. This step involves taking a good look at each idea, weighing its effectiveness, feasibility, and possible consequences. It's like trying to find the perfect blend of innovation and practicality. You might think of it as cooking, throwing in a variety of ingredients to see what tastes best, but then following a recipe so that it all comes together in the end. Now, implementation is often where many great ideas crash and burn. It's one thing to have a light bulb moment, but turning that idea into a reality can be tricky. That's where a detailed action plan becomes your best friend. Break down your chosen solution into smaller, manageable steps. Assign roles to people on your team, set up deadlines, and establish metrics to track progress. This way, everyone knows what they should be doing and when. As we dive deeper into the art of problem solving, we'll notice an interesting dance between creativity and structured thinking. At first glance, these two might seem like oil and water. One is free and unpredictable, while the other is organized and precise. But in reality, they work together beautifully when it comes to effective problem solving. Creativity helps us generate unique ideas and discover connections that others might overlook. It encourages us to think outside the box and to challenge what we take for granted. On the flip side, structured thinking helps transform those creative ideas into actionable solutions. The trick is to strike a balance between these two approaches. You might start with a brainstorming session filled with imaginative ideas, then shift gears and take a more methodical approach to sort through them and refine the best options. This combination can lead to solutions that are not only innovative, but also effective. So how can you put all of this into practice? One engaging way is to participate in group brainstorming sessions focused on fun, hypothetical problems. This practice allows you to flex your creative muscles in a team setting, exposing you to different perspectives and ideas. You can also create action plans for personal challenges. Pick a problem you're currently facing and apply the structured techniques we've discussed. Dive deep to identify the root cause and use the insights gained to brainstorm solutions effectively. As you embark on this exciting journey to enhance your problem-solving skills, you might be curious about what types of results you can expect. Initially, you'll see improvements in your ability to tackle problems. You'll become more skilled at dissecting complex issues, coming up with creative solutions, and putting effective strategies into action. With regular practice, you may discover that your creativity begins to flourish. You'll find yourself looking at problems from various perspectives, spotting opportunities that others could easily overlook. This newfound creativity can be a real game changer, both in your personal life and at work. It will allow you to shine as a resourceful problem solver. If you genuinely commit to refining these skills, you might even reach a level of mastery in structured problem solving. Now, don't get me wrong. This doesn't mean you'll never run into a problem you can't solve. The world is far too intricate for that. What it does mean is that you'll equip yourself with a robust toolkit filled with techniques and strategies to tackle challenges with confidence. However, the path to building strong problem-solving abilities is not always easy. You may encounter some bumps along the way. One common hurdle is the frustration of feeling stuck when trying to generate solutions for particularly tricky problems. You might find your mind goes blank. If that happens to you, don't despair. Try employing creative thinking methods, such as mind mapping, where you visualize your thoughts, or using random word associations to spark new ideas. Role-playing different scenarios can also provide fresh perspectives and help jog your creativity. Another challenge could be the struggle to implement your brilliant ideas. Coming up with a solution is one thing. Actually putting it into action is another. If you find this part difficult, the key is to create detailed action plans. Break your solution down into smaller, manageable steps and set clear deadlines and milestones to keep you on track. Remember, it's okay to tweak your plan as you go. Keep in mind that developing problem-solving skills is an ongoing journey. You won't reach a final destination. Instead, you'll refine these abilities throughout your life. Each problem you tackle and each challenge you overcome presents a chance to strengthen your skills. As we wrap up our exploration of problem-solving, take a moment to appreciate the incredible power of this skill. By nurturing your problem-solving abilities, you're not just enhancing your own life, you're also setting yourself up to help those around you in meaningful ways. Chapter 9. Quick Decisions. Picture this. You're sitting in the cockpit of a jet. Alarms are going off, warning lights are flashing, and you have mere moments to make a life-or-death decision that affects not just you, but hundreds of passengers. While this situation might sound dramatic, it captures the crucial skill we're going to unpack in this chapter. The art of making effective decisions in high-pressure situations. In today's fast-paced world, the ability to stay calm and make smart choices when the pressure is on is more valuable than ever. But what differentiates those who rise to the occasion and make decisions with confidence from those who buckle under the stress? The truth is, effective decision-making under pressure isn't about having nerves of steel or some superhero talent. It's about equipping yourself with mental strategies and frameworks that allow you to think clearly and act decisively, even when chaos surrounds you. So why is this skill so essential? Consider the last time you faced a high-stakes decision. Maybe it was the perfect moment in your career, a snap judgment in a tricky situation, or a time-sensitive opportunity that required instant action. In those pivotal moments, the ability to decide wisely can mean the difference between success and failure or safety and danger. Let's think about this. When we're under stress, our instinct is often to rush into decisions without fully weighing the consequences. This hasty approach can lead to blunders we might regret later. By sharpening our decision-making skills, we can navigate these tricky waters more effectively and avoid those pitfalls. For instance, let's say you're in a meeting where a critical project deadline is about to be discussed. Tension is in the air as your boss asks for your input on a last-minute strategy change. If you succumb to the pressure and blurt out the first thing that comes to mind, you might miss an opportunity to share a valuable insight. However, by taking a deep breath, practicing a bit of patience, and applying decision-making techniques we'll explore, you can pause, think, and offer a well-considered response. Remember, the skills you're developing here are just the beginning. The true measure of your abilities will emerge when the stakes are high, and every choice you make really matters. So, as we dive into specific strategies for decision-making when it matters most, think about your own hidden potential. What could you achieve when you master this critical skill? In our fast-paced world, the ability to make quick decisions without losing sight of our goals and values is crucial, especially when the pressure is on. Think about it. When we're faced with urgent choices, we often feel like we're juggling with fire. The pressure can make us hesitate, and sometimes That pause can be just as damaging as making the wrong choice. So, how do we navigate these high-stakes situations effectively? Developing strong decision-making skills means learning how to act swiftly while still thinking critically. Picture this. You're at a crossroads, and time is ticking. You want to seize an opportunity or tackle a challenge, but you don't want to rush into a poor choice. It's like trying to catch a train. You need to jump on at the right moment without just leaping off the platform. One practical tool to help with this is what I like to call the 2-minute rule. When you're confronted with a pressing decision, give yourself 2 minutes to pause, gather key information, and weigh your options. This brief moment of focus can help keep your decision-making clear and prevent you from getting stuck in the loop of overthinking, often referred to as analysis paralysis. Another effective way to streamline your decision-making is through the use of mental models or heuristics. These are simple frameworks that help us assess complex situations quickly. For instance, the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, teaches us that 80% of our results typically come from just 20% of our efforts. By zeroing in on that vital 20%, we can make informed choices without getting lost in irrelevant details. It's like aiming for the bullseye instead of firing wildly at the target. Yet, making decisions isn't just about gathering information. It's about knowing what information matters most. In high-pressure moments, we're often overwhelmed with data coming at us from all directions. Here, the ICE method shines. It stands for impact, confidence, and ease. For every piece of information or potential action, consider 3 things. How impactful will it be? How confident am I in this assessment? How easy will it be to implement? This process helps you prioritize actions that are not only significant, but also ones you can tackle with high confidence and speed. As we dive deeper into mastering decision-making under pressure, we must also remember the importance of avoiding hasty conclusions. Quick decisions are vital, but we shouldn't let speed compromise our accuracy. Jumping to conclusions without adequate thought can lead to costly errors. Here's a technique that can bolster our decision accuracy, known as a pre-mortem exercise. Before you finalize a decision, take a minute to imagine that your choice has gone wrong. What could have caused that failure? This perspective encourages us to think critically about potential pitfalls, allowing us to make more informed and safer decisions. So remember, whether you're in a high-pressure meeting or making a personal choice that affects your life, mastering quick yet thoughtful decision-making will empower you to navigate through tough situations with confidence and clarity. Chapter 10. High-pressure situations. Have you ever found yourself in a tight spot, needing to make a decision quickly and wishing you had a better plan? Well, you're not alone. Let's dig into some helpful strategies that can enhance our decision-making skills, especially when the stakes are high. One effective technique is to step back and ask ourselves, what went wrong? This simple mental exercise allows us to pinpoint potential missteps in our decision-making process. By reflecting on past choices, we can learn and adapt for the future. Another powerful tool is if-then planning. This is all about anticipating different scenarios that might come our way and deciding beforehand how we'd respond. Think of it as creating a mental playbook for those crucial moments when time is short and pressure is heavy. So, how do we actually make these strategies work in our favor? One fun way is to practice timed decision-making drills. Set up some hypothetical situations for yourself, complete with a ticking clock, and push yourself to make decisions quickly. Start with a little more time to think things through, and as you get the hang of it, challenge yourself to make quicker calls. Another excellent exercise is prioritization. Present yourself with a complex scenario and a list of actions you could take. Practice organizing these actions based on importance. A handy technique to remember is the ICE method. This stands for impact, confidence, and ease. By applying this method, you'll sharpen your ability to prioritize effectively, which is crucial when the pressure's on. As you embark on this journey to sharpen your decision-making under pressure, let's talk about what outcomes you might see. At first, you may notice you can make choices faster, almost like you're becoming a decision-making ninja. You'll find that you can make quick choices without that feeling of panic creeping in. With regular practice, expect to see improvements in not just speed, but also accuracy. Imagine being able to make swift decisions that are thought out and effective. Now that's a game changer in personal and professional situations. For those who really commit to this practice, the ultimate goal is to become a master of decision-making in high-pressure situations. Now don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean you'll live stress-free or not feel uncertainty. That's just part of being human. However, what you will have is a set of tools and a solid mental framework to tackle even the toughest situations with confidence. Of course, the road to becoming a strong decision-maker isn't always easy. You might hit some bumps along the way, and that's perfectly okay. One common pitfall is the urge to rush decisions, which can lead to mistakes. Under pressure, it's easy to jump into action without fully weighing the consequences. If you find yourself slipping into this trap, take a moment to refocus and practice going through the steps we've discussed. So gear up. With dedication and practice, you're on your way to mastering decision-making, even when the heat is on. When it comes to making decisions under pressure, having solid prioritization techniques can really help. By pinpointing what's most important, you can speed up your decision-making process without sacrificing quality. However, high-pressure situations often come with a side of stress, making it all the more challenging to think clearly and make smart choices. If you ever find yourself feeling overwhelmed, consider incorporating some effective stress reduction strategies. Simple techniques like deep breathing exercises, practicing mindfulness, or even taking a brief moment to stretch can help to clear your mind. For example, imagine you're at work and facing a tight deadline. Taking a moment to breathe deeply or do some light stretching can bring your focus back and improve your ability to make a sound decision. Remember, becoming skilled in decision-making during pressure situations is a journey, not a final destination. It's a skill you will continually refine as you face each new challenge. Each high-pressure scenario you overcome and each snap decision you make is an opportunity to strengthen these essential skills. As we wrap up our discussion on decision-making in tough times, take a moment to reflect on how powerful this skill can be. By honing your ability to make smart choices swiftly during stressful moments, you're literally arming yourself for success in all areas of life, from dealing with emergencies to seizing those fleeting opportunities that pop up when you least expect them. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how to future-proof your thinking. We'll explore strategies for anticipating challenges, adapting to change, and making decisions that will stand the test of time. But as we close this chapter, think about this. What hidden strengths might you uncover within yourself when the stakes are high and every second counts? The skills you've acquired are just the beginning. The real adventure lies in putting them to use when life throws those unpredictable, high-stakes situations your way. Chapter 11. Future-proof your thinking. Picture yourself in a game of chess. You make a savvy move that captures your opponent's queen, feeling proud of your cleverness. But in your excitement, you overlook a critical detail. The move leaves your king vulnerable. 3 moves later, you find yourself in checkmate, left wondering how that victory slipped away so quickly. This scenario perfectly showcases what we'll unpack in this chapter: the importance of not just thinking about the immediate future, but also considering the long-term implications of your choices. In a world that often pushes us toward instant gratification and quick decisions, being able to think ahead and make choices that are wise for the long haul is becoming increasingly essential. So how do you develop that long-term thinking? It starts by learning to anticipate challenges. Just like a chess player analyzes potential moves several steps ahead, you can practice looking forward in your life and decision-making. For instance, when making financial plans, instead of focusing solely on immediate expenses, consider how your choices today will affect your financial health years from now. As we delve deeper into future-proof thinking, we'll look at various strategies that can help you navigate the complexities of life while making decisions that not only serve you now, but will continue to benefit you in the years ahead. Let's explore the art of strategic thinking together. What does it mean to think with the future in mind? As we explore this vital skill, you'll quickly realize that future-proof thinking isn't about having a magical ability to predict what's going to happen next. Instead, it's about crafting a mindset and habits that help us make smart choices today, choices that will benefit us tomorrow, next year, and even many years down the line. You might wonder why honing this skill is so crucial, especially when we're stuck dealing with tricky situations that require sharp thinking. Imagine for a moment the last time you made a choice that felt right at that instant, only to find yourself regretting it later because of unexpected fallout. In those times, the power to think ahead and weigh long-term effects can be the key to finding lasting success instead of just momentary relief. The significance of future-proof thinking during tough times cannot be emphasized enough. When we encounter obstacles, our natural instinct is usually to seek quick remedies without fully contemplating their lasting consequences. This often traps us in a cycle of band-aid solutions that fail to tackle the root problems. By sharpening our skills in long-term thinking, we can better align our decisions with our overall goals, fostering growth and sustainable success. Moreover, in our rapidly changing world, thinking ahead is crucial for both personal and professional development. Those who have the knack for spotting trends, adapting to new situations, and making decisions that stand the test of time are the ones who truly excel. By cultivating this ability, we prepare ourselves to navigate uncertainty and seize opportunities that others might overlook. So, how can we nurture this essential skill? The journey starts with developing habits that encourage long-term thinking. At its core, this skill revolves around bridging our immediate choices with our future ambitions. It's all about ensuring that every step we take today leads us towards the person we want to be tomorrow. One powerful method for fostering this future-focused mindset is the future self exercise. Take a moment to visualize where you see yourself 5, 10, or even 20 years from now. What kind of achievements do you want to have? What type of person do you aspire to be? By regularly connecting with this vision of your future self, you can start making decisions today that reflect those aspirations. Another useful tactic is creating decision trees. When you're faced with a choice, jot down the possible outcomes of each option. Don't just look at how they play out in the short term. Think about where each choice might lead you in the months and years ahead. This structured thinking can provide clarity and help you choose the path that aligns best with your long-term goals. Picture this, a visual map that lets you look beyond the quick effects of your choices and see how they could shape your life in the years to come. That's the idea behind long-term thinking. But it's not just about thinking ahead. The real challenge is creating habits that make those futures a reality. It's about developing routines that keep you on track toward your goals. One effective way to build these habits is through what's called the tiny habits method. Instead of trying to turn your life upside down overnight, why not focus on making small, manageable changes? For instance, if you want to read more, start by setting aside just 5 minutes each day for a chapter or two. These little habits can snowball into major shifts in your daily life. As we explore the idea of future-proof thinking further, we realize how crucial it is for personal growth. When we routinely think about the long-term effects of our choices, we create opportunities for ourselves to improve and adapt. One method to encourage this kind of growth is regular self-reflection. It's important to take a moment each week or month to check in on how you're progressing toward your goals. Ask yourself, what's going well? What needs tweaking? This process of looking back helps keep your eye on the prize. Another strategy that can benefit your future is scenario planning. Take a moment to envision different possible futures and think about how you might navigate each one. For example, consider what you would do if you lost your job versus if you got a promotion. This kind of mental exercise prepares you to be flexible and adapt when faced with uncertainty. So how can you apply all this in real life? A great way to start is by attending goal-setting workshops. Use these sessions to clearly define your long-term aspirations and break them down into manageable medium and short-term goals. This creates a kind of roadmap that links your everyday choices to your big dreams. You might also want to engage in long-term planning exercises. Choose a major decision you're facing right now, like whether to take a new job or pursue further education. Think about the potential consequences of that decision over the next 5 or 10 years. Visualizing these different paths can help you make informed choices that align with what you really want out of life. As you dive into mastering future-proof thinking, you might wonder what benefits await you. To put it simply, you'll likely find a greater alignment between your actions and your goals. Plus, you'll become more skilled at making decisions that nudge you closer to your long-term vision. So take that first step today and start building a future that truly resonates with the life you want to live. Chapter 12, Mastering Decision-Making. As you continue to practice effective decision-making, you might notice a significant boost in your ability to think strategically. This means you'll start to see hurdles and possibilities coming your way more clearly, helping you set yourself up for success, both at work and in your personal life. For those who commit wholeheartedly to honing this skill, the ultimate reward is a knack for making decisions that can withstand the test of time. Now, let's be clear. Becoming a master decision maker doesn't mean you can predict the future with absolute certainty. The world is just too unpredictable for that. However, it does mean equipping yourself with the right tools and mental frameworks that empower you to make choices that are adaptable and resilient, ready to face whatever comes your way. Of course, the road to developing strong, future-proof thinking isn't always a smooth ride. You may run into some bumps along the way. One very common challenge is the temptation to focus too much on the here and now, neglecting those bigger life goals. In the whirlwind of our busy routines, it's all too easy to lose track of what really matters in the long run. If you find this happening to you, try setting aside some time each week to review your long-term goals. It might help to create a vision board, or even set up reminders on your phone to keep your objectives fresh in your mind. Another hurdle you might encounter is adapting to change. No matter how much you plan for the future, it often throws us curveballs that we didn't see coming. If navigating through those unexpected twists feels tricky, work on building your flexibility. You can practice scenario planning, imagine different futures, and think about how you might respond to those situations. This exercise can help you cultivate the mental flexibility needed to thrive, even when things get uncertain. Remember, developing your skills in future-proof thinking is a journey, not merely a destination. With each decision you make while keeping the future in mind, and each long-term goal you strive toward, you're presented with an opportunity to sharpen these vital skills. As we wrap up our look into the world of smart future thinking, take a moment to appreciate the significance of this ability. By shaping decisions today that can benefit you tomorrow and far beyond, you're building a tool that can profoundly influence the trajectory of your life. In the next chapter, we'll weave together all the skills and strategies we've discussed throughout our journey, exploring how to integrate them into a cohesive plan for your decision-making toolkit. Chapter 13, Embracing the Future. As we arrive at the conclusion of our journey together, take a moment to think about just how far you've come. You've journeyed from learning how to maintain a calm mindset to becoming a master of critical thinking. You've tackled complex problems, learned how to make quick decisions, and invested in future-proof thinking. All of this has shaped you into someone capable of aligning your actions with your long-term aspirations. However, this isn't the finish line. It's just the start of a new chapter in your life. You now have a toolkit filled with skills and a resilient mindset that empowers you to face any challenge with clarity and confidence. Let's dive into ways to keep sharpening your critical thinking abilities while ensuring your mind remains calm as you step into the future. For starters, let's chat about how what you've learned in this book can truly empower you. These skills aren't just theoretical ideas. They are practical tools ready to enhance every part of your life. One of the greatest ways these skills can work for you is by boosting your confidence in making decisions. Think back to how you used to handle tricky decisions. Perhaps you felt swamped by all the options, or maybe the fear of making a mistake paralyzed you into inaction. But now, with strategies for breaking down tricky problems, objectively evaluating evidence, and considering long-term consequences, you can face those decisions head-on with a new sense of assurance. This newfound confidence doesn't mean you'll never feel nervous or uncertain again. Instead, it gives you a reliable method to navigate that uncertainty, enabling you to analyze situations logically and make thoughtful decisions based on reasoning rather than impulse or raw emotion. Moreover, the skills you've honed also build your resilience against life's inevitable challenges. We all know that unexpected bumps in the road are part of the journey, but now you have the tools to tackle these obstacles effectively. Remember, it's not about avoiding difficulties, it's about being equipped to handle them with poise. So as you move forward, embrace the possibilities that lie ahead. The adventure is just beginning, and with these skills in your back pocket, you're ready to create a future that's even brighter than you can currently envision. Facing challenges doesn't have to feel like standing in the path of a raging storm. Instead of being swept away by difficulties, you can learn to see them as stepping stones for personal growth. By applying critical thinking skills, you can not only tackle problems effectively, but also emerge stronger in the end. The power of critical thinking goes beyond just solving your own issues. It can also reshape your relationships. When you enhance your ability to communicate and understand others, the connections you build can become deeper and more meaningful. Imagine approaching a disagreement not with frustration, but with curiosity, wondering about the other person's perspective. For instance, if a friend is upset with you, instead of getting defensive, ask questions to understand their feelings and motivations. This approach allows you to have calmer discussions, which can lead to more productive outcomes. Think about how your communication improves when you analyze situations from different angles. Instead of responding impulsively in a heated debate, you start to listen more carefully and evaluate the arguments presented. This doesn't just benefit you, it helps everyone involved. By articulating your thoughts clearly and persuasively, you foster an environment where open, respectful dialogue flourishes. The magic happens when you pair empathy with logic. Consider why someone might say something hurtful. They may be struggling with their insecurities or fears. When you understand not just the words, but the emotions and ambitions behind them, your ability to empathize grows. This deeper understanding allows you to handle tricky interpersonal situations gracefully, navigating through tensions with wisdom and composure. As you embrace these critical thinking skills daily, you might be surprised at what you can accomplish. Those complex situations that once felt overwhelming, you can now break them down into bite-sized pieces. With a clear mind, you analyze each part objectively, making it easier to navigate through even the toughest challenges. Moreover, you'll gain the confidence to make decisions swiftly yet thoughtfully, even under pressure. Your knack for combining quick thinking with a long-term perspective means you can approach choices that are both timely and well-informed. This ability might not only enhance your personal life, but also position you as a reliable decision-maker in your professional realm. And here's the best part. This journey with critical thinking is just the beginning. There's so much more to explore and discover as you continue to hone these essential skills. As you keep practicing the ideas we've covered in this book, you might notice something amazing. Your results will start to improve, and it will feel easier each time. This is the magic of mastery. Picture it, the skills you've learned becoming so natural that they almost feel like breathing. Think about how effortless it is to analyze tricky problems and make wise choices, like tying your shoes without even thinking about it. This kind of mastery is not just a distant dream. It's something you can achieve if you stay dedicated to practicing and honing these skills. The more you engage in critical thinking and maintain a sense of calm, the more you'll see consistent growth in your personal and professional life. Each time you face a new challenge, you'll build on what you've learned, allowing you to expand your abilities in handling complex issues. Your decision-making will sharpen, and your confidence in dealing with uncertainty will strengthen. As we wrap up this journey together, I want to share a hopeful vision for your future. Imagine yourself 5 years from now, looking back at this moment. You've consistently applied what you've learned, fine-tuning those skills through everyday practice and real-life experiences. In this future, People recognize you as someone who stays composed and clear-minded even when the going gets tough. Your knack for breaking down complicated problems and making sound choices could lead to extraordinary accomplishments in both your personal and professional life. You'll handle difficult situations with grace, strengthen relationships through empathy, and communicate more effectively. Your decisions will set you on a path toward long-term success. But beyond these achievements, you'll experience a remarkable internal shift. You'll approach life with confidence and purpose, knowing that you have the tools to navigate any challenge that comes your way. You'll cultivate a deep trust in your judgment, paired with a willingness to keep learning and growing. Remember, this future isn't an abstract fantasy. It's something you can start crafting today. Each choice you make and each challenge you encounter will guide you on this path. The adventure of mastering critical thinking and calm decision-making is only just beginning, offering endless chances for your personal evolution. So as you close this book, hold on to this thought. Exciting opportunities and complex challenges await you in the world outside. Keep pushing forward. Imagine this. You're equipped with the tools of critical thinking and an unwavering calmness. With these skills, you're not just set to carve out your path, but also take on the major challenges our planet faces. But what happens when life inevitably throws a surprise your way? A sudden job loss, a health scare, or even just a bad day at school? It's easy to feel overwhelmed and lose that sense of calm, right? Now here's a thought. What if you could enhance your ability to keep your cool even when the pressure mounts? This is where the art of non-reactivity comes into play. Think of it like a superpower that enables you to rise above emotional turmoil and make clearer, more thoughtful decisions. Consider this scenario. Imagine you're in a heated debate with a friend about an important topic. Instead of reacting impulsively to their words, you take a deep breath, listen intently, and respond thoughtfully. This not only helps you maintain your cool, but also enriches the conversation, turning it into a meaningful exchange rather than a clash. To truly tap into your potential and make the most of what you've learned, diving into resources like The Power of Not Reacting could be a game changer. It's filled with genius strategies to keep you calm, no matter what life throws at you. So why not take that next step on your journey of self-improvement? Just tap the center of the video to continue your exploration.